You know what's crazy is I'm a extremely skeptical, paranoid. When I mean like in business, that's kind of like the military. Not necessarily, but But you're joking. That's Tom sarcasm. Mm-hmm. But when you have the life I've lived and you're kind of in the situations I've been, you kind of sitting there saying, "What's going on over here?" In the middle of COVID, you're listening to everybody, and there's one side on your shoulder. You got the one guy and the other guy. One guy's like, "You got to take the shot. You're an idiot if you don't." Another guy's saying, "Dude, we don't know what we're doing," right? In the middle of COVID, when they said, "Well, you got to let everybody work from home," that's unfair. Why are you being such an old school? You sound like an 80-year-old CEO from the 60s. Mm-hmm. Let people work from home. These millennials, you need to learn them.
Liberate them.
Yeah. And the other side is like, no, don't buy into it. You're being too tough on your kids. Your kids are too tough on these guys. And the other side, no shit. Look at the life. They got an easy life. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're being unfair with the standards you're creating. Loosen up a little bit. No, that's what great leaders do. This too, the hardest part is when you're in the thick of things. Mm-hmm. When everybody's telling you to go work from home, and I'm on board calls, and on these board calls, well, Patrick, maybe you're not being fair. Maybe you ought to consider what these younger people are asking for. Hey, maybe you're not being responsible enough. You should send somebody to everybody's office and offer free vaccine to everybody. That's a board call I had. Tom, you were on that call. Maybe you should send hey, maybe you're in these moments when you're sitting there and you're making a decision and you walk away, you could be wrong. Mm-hmm. It's in those moments that the trust in you goes higher, where you have to trust yourself. This doesn't mean you're going to be 100% right all the time. Yep. But some of this is common sense.
Of course.
And it's so hard to lean on common sense while 90% of people who have fancy degrees, who are more educated than you, are selling you a story that when you're by yourself, you're saying, maybe that guy's smarter than me. Maybe they're right. Maybe that. It's in those moments that you realize how strong your
Pat, can you do me a favor? What was the tone of the voice of the board call? How did you do that
voice? That wasn't me speaking.
No, hold on, because this person
I was
like,
shaking my head
Pat,
just like Pat
was. What was your tone?
What was your tone? Here.
First of all, if I do the voice, I'm not going to do the voice because people will know who I'm
talking. But guess what? Are they from California?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, don't tell me, but just from the hey and that tone, that's a California.
Well, so only two places, California or New York.
Okay, done deal. That's a Cali voice.
But the point is, and by the way, the people who said that to me, I love those guys.
Of course you do.
FYI, without those guys, we don't create the valuation and the business that we build. I'm telling you here right now.
I believe it.
But in those moments, it's tough.
How do you make your decision? So, question, Pat, what is this something from inside you? From what makes you go, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I get what. Thanks for the advice.
Bro,
but
here's the thing. The whole thing about, some people are sending me messages about Jordan Peterson. What do you think what's going on with Jordan Peterson? We'll talk about his story right now as well. What do you think about what's going on with Tate? What do you think what's going on with this? What do you think what's going on with that? Here's what I do know. Any one of us who think we're right 100% of the time, you're a fool.
Of course.
Any one of us who think we know it all the time about all things, you're a fool. Okay? There's nothing attractive about that human being. Okay? And by the way, we all are tempted to feel that way. And the cause of that is when people around you tell you how amazing you are is because you don't sit with opposition, okay? The problem when you don't sit with opposition and you only sit with people that think you're so amazing, you're like, hey, you know how much hate I got for having Reza Aslan on?
Really? I can imagine. Oh, my God.
Do you know how many people tweeted at me, I had a call last night saying, why would you have Reza Aslan? I'm like, dude, it's one of my favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
Why would you have, Kyle Kulinski on? I freaking had a blast with the guy. Because you're finding leaks, right? So you're asking a question to me. Dude, there's been many times I've made a decision and I've been wrong. And I had to learn, okay? But in certain decisions that has to do with values and principles, I'm not compromising.
You stay right on your... You keep the course. Stay the course.
Because my loyalty is to the people that bought into the vision when we sold the company, like what we're going to do one day. When I sold them 13 and a half years ago, my loyalty is to those people. Mm-hmm. There is no what we're doing today without those guys at the beginning. Zero. My goal was to make sure all of those guys became financially free. Palaio today just bought a $3 million house in Austin, got a beautiful wife, beautiful junior, beautiful kid, beautiful family, very happy in Austin. Gaetan just bought a $2.5 million house in Houston, drives a nice car. Kids go to great private schools. He's an incredible father. Mom's an incredible mother. They have 3 boys, seeing what happened with Rodolfo and Ceci Vargas. Incredible life. They're living in a beautiful home. You know, few $1 million in the bank. They've saved. They've done. This guy was a guy that worked loss prevention at Sears.
Wow.
And he went back to El Salvador to get married. Seeing what's happening with Matt Sapalo, who just bought a $3 million home in Dallas, Texas. Beautiful basketball, tennis court, stairs of like the Tony Montana type of stairs when you come walking. And they're living an incredible life. They're both leaders. I owe it to them because without them, we don't have what we have. But
exactly,
I'm the leader.
Yep.
And the pressure isn't for me to be right 100% of the time. The pressure is I may be wrong, but I'm okay with that. Mm. But I don't compromise values and principles. And I don't think neither should the rest of us. No matter how great the argument may make, you should always leave an out to say, guys, we could be wrong. The whole problem with COVID was what? All they said is they're 100% right.
Yep. Right.
And others are 100% wrong. It's just not cool to do that. Okay, so I'm not sitting here trying to tell you how amazing we did all this other stuff. Believe me, I can tell you 50 different mistakes I made.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. But I'm not compromising values and principles.
I respect
Those are the things that we have to work on.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.